guys, how's it going? Indio here. Well, Hilda is trying to connect. She's having a little bit of problems, but I am here to start off the show. And for those of y'all that are joining us, thank you so very much for each and every one of y'all that are joining us from all the 6 different locations that we are. And I forgot to initiate the old Roku TV that we have right behind us. Check it out. Bam, there we are. We're on TV as well. Today, we have a very, 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 very special guest. We're going to be talking about all kinds of things, upcoming things that are really important. He's celebrating 55 years in the business. Well, sort of. But we're going to go ahead and check it out. Let's go ahead and roll the intro for the one and only Mr. Don Freddie Martinez. It goes like this. Don Freddie, how are you doing, sir?
Doing great. Doing fine. Thank you for having me on your show.
Well, thank you for showing up. You look great. You look great. You're there in the office.
I'm still, as a matter of fact, I'm in the studio right now. We did some work this afternoon and just getting ready for just a lot of things that are going to happen this year. So, but again, thank you, DJ NDO, for having me on your show. And I appreciate this. And let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Well, we got a lot of things to cover. We know we got a lot of things. You've been busy. The thing that amazes me, you've retired long since, pero todavía you're still working. You've retired from touring, but that doesn't mean you retired from the music business. You still doing a lot of music business stuff, but even still, you still go out and sing and perform when you get the old itch going. So how does it? This is 55 years for Freddie Records, right?
Yes. Well, to begin with, to start with this, the word retire is not in my vocabulary.
Well, you kind of slipped away. How's
that? Like you said, I kind of moved to the side a little bit to let the youngsters, but I don't travel that much anymore. But my work is here in the recording studio. I work here, kind of preparing songs, the music for all the bands that record for us. So we have just a lot of bands that are doing real well. And then so that's my job. My 3 sons, I've got 3 sons, and they all take charge of the company, the groups and the employees and the promotion. It's Freddie Jr., John, and Mark.
Yeah, and
so they've taken over.
Yeah, I talk a lot with Mark. Mark's a good guy. That's who I usually, he's my main contact. That's the guy that I talk to. Rick Garcia from who used to be with Hacienda Records. Now he's got CHR Records. He goes, "What an unmistakable sound!" When you hear a Freddie Martinez song, you know it's Freddie Martinez, and that's a key thing right there.
Thank you. Rick is a great friend. I've known Rick since he was just a teenager. when he used to be with us at the other studio. He's a great guy, and I recommend him to anybody that needs some work done in the studio. He's good. Rick is very good.
Yeah, Joyce Trevino from California says hello from California. So
hello there too.
Thanks for joining us, Joyce Trevino. I really do appreciate you. Number it's good to kick back and relax. And I mean, 55-year anniversary for Freddie Records, and you guys are still going strong. Not a lot of people know this, but you've had country artists record there at Freddie Records, like wasn't it? Here, let me go back to my notes. It was like Don Williams and
well, we've had we've had just about every genre of music here at the studios. You can imagine in 55 years, just about everybody's recorded here. In the Tejano industry, just about it's about all the big bands have been here, and the norteño conjuntos and the regional conjuntos. So we've had a lot of people come through here in those 55 years. We started in 1969,
Yeah.
and actually, the studio that I started in was the other studio. It was called Studio B, and the guys that owned it, that studio, used to rent it to me, and I used to go and I think I did my first two albums there, and I used to rent it from, and then they decided that the main owner, he asked me if I wanted to buy it from him, so that's how I got to that studio, and we were there a couple of years, and then the offices were at a different place, and then here, I think it's 22 years ago, we did the whole complex under one building. We've got this all the offices, the promotional, everything is under one roof, and of course we got the two big studios here next door, and both studios were tied up today. We have Laura Denise in one studio, and I was working the other, so we're keeping busy.
And that's really a true testament because I know by 1985 you were considered one of the most prolific independent studios in the United States, not in Texas, in the U.S. By 1985, you've already carved it out. And just for people that don't know the background, when you started out in 1969, because you just wanted a place to record. You were looking for a place to record for yourself. You know,
Well, you see, I had recorded. I started my professional career when I was 15 years old,
mhm,
and I come from a family that's all music. On my mother's side, the great musicians. My older brother was a great musician also, played with the big bands. So I've been in music all my life. But professionally, I started when I was 15 years old when I started my first band. And you start a band, you're young, you think everything is easy, but it's not. It took me a while. It took me a while to get a hit song, and before I started Freddie Records, I recorded with 12 to 15 recording companies. I mean, every company in the state of Texas, I recorded with them. And not to blame them or not to blame anybody, but it just wasn't my time yet because
right,
I didn't get any hit songs from any of the companies. Not that they didn't push me or that I didn't try, because a recording company, anytime you record an artist, well, obviously you're recording him to, 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 to do good.
right.
So I couldn't do any good with any of the companies. And the way God works, uh, I started Freddie Records, and my very first single was a hit, a smash hit. And then after that, another one and another one, and one right after the other. The first big hit that I had was Botoncito Cariño.
Botas.
I had one hit before that one, but not as big as that one. And after Botoncito Cariño came the second album, Muñequita Canela. The third album was Un Par de Ojitos. And everybody was telling me, "What are you going to do now? You've had three major hits, albums. What's next?" And then along comes Te Traigo Estas Flores.
Yeah,
So you
that one.
know,
That
I
one
was
blew everything out of the water after
right.
that.
Every door everywhere opened up for us everywhere. But that's the way God works. He waited until I started my company to get me going.
Yeah, I would say so. And it's pretty awesome that it works the way it does. But there's the accolades are there. First, let me go real quick to some of the comments here. Puro Pedo Talk Show. Thank you very much, guys, for joining us. They have a great show. Uh, theirs is on Thursdays. Give us a Let us know who you have next on your show so that we can let people know. Janie Rios from Conroe, Texas. She says hello. Rick Garcia. He says the Godfather of La Onda. Of course, Bobby Castañeda from California says hello, Mr. Freddie Martinez in Indio. How are you doing? Alfredo Rios, also from Conroe, Texas. He's the lone Mexican. He's got a band called Grupo Fijo out of Corpus, that area,
Okay.
Conroe, and so that's a great guy. Janie says, my first memory of Mr. Freddie Martinez, 1973, him playing down in Dixon, California, a migrant camp where I lived when I was 10 years old. Hombre,
Wow. Hello to everybody that's listening. And yes, I did a lot of tours in California.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, I did the whole state, all the way from San Diego and Indio all the way to San Francisco,
I've seen
everywhere
you.
in between.
Yeah, I've seen some of your some. I've been kind of because I like to do a lot of research and everything. I've seen stuff for stuff in Nevada, stuff in California, stuff in Florida, stuff in New York. You were all over the country, performing. That's a lot of traveling, but that's also a testament to how the music was. You know, I've been working on a documentary on Tejano music, and when I started out, I just wanted to interview legends and get the stories because we were still recovering from COVID, and we were losing a lot of our legends, and I wanted to get their stories down. But when I started doing the interview, what I learned was that a lot of people, it wasn't Tejano music back then. It was just Chicano music. It was just that a lot of performers were from Texas. That's it. You
Well,
know,
the youngsters today probably don't remember a lot of the people that were there before us. It
mhm.
wasn't called before. It wasn't called Chicano. It
Yeah,
was called like Isidro Lopez y su orquesta,
orquesta, yeah, orquesta.
orquesta. And then after that, then came back in the '60s. It was called La Onda Chicana,
Right.
and then right after that, it turned into Tejano music.
And I know a big moniker was to have recording artist on your banner. It was like not just a orquesta, but a recording artist because that was a big thing. Not everybody was a recording artist back then. They were just playing music. To be a recording artist meant that you actually recorded a single. You actually had something down. That was a big thing back in the day.
Not only that, but also during the time of the LPs, when you put out an LP, the cover of the LP, they used to say that was half of the sales. In other words, if you got a good cover and then good music, you've got it all. But you need to work on the covers also. Nowadays, well, there's no LP, so there's no covers. The CDs are almost out already, so
Yeah.
you have to use the social media and the posters and this and that, because you can't find a picture of the artist anymore, like you used to. So that's what we work on now, to how to promote the artist, show the la carita del artista, and so it's a little different than back then, like when we started. We used to be in the studio day in and day out, with the different artists, Tony La Rosa, Ruben Aranjo, Ruben Vela, and then came along Ramon Ayala. Ramon did uh, right at 80 different CDs with the company. He was
Wow.
with us over 35 years, and
Hmm.
and we've had a lot of groups like that have lasted a long time with us. Employees, I've got a couple of employees that have been with me for over 50 years since the,
Wow.
since the company started. I don't know if you've heard of Carlos Cardenas, but
Mhm.
Carlos Cardenas used to be my guitar player, and he wrote Rinconcito en el Cielo. He wrote Qué Casualidad, and he wrote Piquito de Oro.
Yeah.
Those just three of the songs he wrote. So those guys have been with me for forever, and that's what keeps this company going. That uh, my sons weren't even born when some of the two oldest, when the company started, but now they as the music and everything goes forward, and the different moves. Well, they're in charge of all of that, and I myself, like I said, I'm in the studio. But if you
Mhm.
ask me, if you ask me how to put the songs in here and there, I don't know.
it's, it's a little different from the reel to reel back in the
Oh yes,
day.
yes,
Yeah. Well, you know what, and it's true too. You've had a lot of artists that have gone through your doors. As a matter of fact, I was talking to an artist that actually recorded with you not too long ago, about 4 or 5 years ago. Orphe, she recorded some music there at Freddie
yes,
Records as well.
yes. She did. Yes, she did. I remember Audrey very well. I haven't seen her in a while though, but she's a good singer.
Yeah, she
Very good.
actually she just released a song a couple of days ago, and I'm helping her with some of the digital stuff. You know, some of the like you said, you got to put it digital posters and stuff like that, so that way
Yes.
people will know who she is. And I completely understand what's going on there. Real quick, Bobby Castaneda says, "I've been a fan since way back. I was honored to see you in person in California." Rick Garcia says, "Don Freddie Martinez signed my very first paycheck in the business."
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember that.
Alfredo says, I remember Freddie performing in Dixon, California back in the early 1970s. Hombre, Melvin Guzman says, ask Freddie if he is ready for rehearsal tomorrow. Carlos Guzman says hello.
Oh yes. Yeah, Carlos will be here tomorrow around noon, and then we're headed for San Antonio.
Right.
We're gonna go rehearse with La 45.
Yeah, you have, for those of y'all that don't know, Las Vegas is coming up here in a couple of weeks. And Freddie is a part of the celebration because I know last when you did the 50th anniversary, y'all had several different performances. I don't know what you're doing for the 55th, but I know part of what you're doing is you're going to be in Las Vegas, and the you have at the Gran Baile on Saturday. The Freddie Records presents the Legends featuring Carlos Guzman, Agustin Ramirez, Freddie Martinez, and Sunny Asuna. They're going to be performing there at Vegas at the Vegas Tejano Takeover on Saturday. I have gone to Vegas, I mean, a lot, and this is one of the best. This is I've gone, and I hate saying that I'm jaded because I've seen a lot of the artists already being in the business, but this is one of the ones that I'm really looking forward to, only because it's the legends, and celebrating 55 years. I know it's going to be great. It's going to be awesome because there's something about the older generation, the way they were used to doing music, that they had to get it right every time. And nowadays we can cut the corners a little bit. We have auto tune and all this other stuff. Back in the day, you had to have it right in order to get it
Oh
recorded.
yeah, we talk about that all the time here with the engineers that we have. You know, we used to record back. I mean, I'm talking about the beginning. We used to record with one microphone. It was only
Yeah,
one microphone, and if anybody made a mistake, you got to start all over.
yeah,
Right now, the way things are right now, you make a mistake, you stop right there and correct that limit and keep on going. Back
yep.
then, you had to go to the beginning and start it. So,
Mhm.
but yes, Sonny and Carlos and myself are going to rehearse tomorrow with La 45, and they have the music. We're just going to go make sure that everything is right.
Right.
And I talked to David Chavez and Sarah, the ones that promote this thing in Las Vegas, and there's going to be a meet and greet with the legends. Uh, I'm not sure when it is, if it's Saturday or Friday, but there is going to be a meet and greet, and I don't know how they're going to determine who goes in or what. But we're going to be there with all the people that we've seen throughout the years. On the 50th, we had people there that talked to us and said, "I was with you in Washington, and I was with you in Chicago, and I was here and there." So it'll be a lot of fun to go and reminisce again, and hopefully we can do it again this late. But I mean, we're already up in age. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know how long we can go.
JD says we will see you in Vegas, and I know there's a lot of people that go, and a lot of people have been asking me about that as well. I'm going to be there. I'm actually going to bring my cinema cameras down. I'm going to bring some videos so that way I can capture all of that, because that's important to have that along with to include it into the documentary, because you want to capture those moments, to make sure that
Yeah,
people
there,
understand.
there's a lot of promoters that I used to work with back in the day that are coming to see us. He said, "Well, I don't know if this is going to be your last performance or not, but I'm going to be." So, so we got the promoter from Chicago. We got the promoter from California. We got promoter from San Antonio, Laredo. All going to be there to see our performances. And I'm telling you that it's going to be a great performance because I already know what Sonny's going to do, what Carlos is going to do, and what I'm going to do. So it'll be a good performance. I'd like to see everybody that we've known in the past come see us there.
Yeah, that'll be great. And plus, also, it's It's 55 years, and one of the things is like it doesn't happen again. You're not going to celebrate 55 again. So go out and enjoy it, and have everybody there at one time, all on the same stage. It's a rare event. I know, because just trying to get everybody. I've been working with Lalo, and from the Legends group, and organizing and trying to get the interview set up. That's a hard agenda in itself, because everybody's got stuff going on, and life happens. Life happens, and so you never know. you know
Now you have to keep on. You can't stop, especially when you love this business the way we do. I mean, like you said, 55 years is a long time, and that's just the time with Freddie Records.
yeah,
I was there a while before that. I recorded with a bunch of companies, and so I've been in this business actually 67 years.
that's
That's how long I've been, performing and doing this and that. But in 1969, when I started the company, and before that, I used to play a job here and a job there, and struggling, like trying to do this, trying to do that. And then in 1969, 70, we were playing. I mean, when we did the Valley, let's say we did Friday night, we did in Pearsall, Saturday in San Antonio, and Sunday in Uvalde, and then we head towards the valley because I had El Valle Grande in McAllen back then, Monday, and then Tuesday we'd go to Brownsville, Wednesday we'd go to Harlingen, Thursday we'd go to Rio Grande, and then we hit the other direction towards Galveston, Houston, and El Campo. So you're talking about 10, 12 days in a row. That's
yeah.
once a month when we did the valley. The other weeks we did like 3 or 4 times a week. Now back then there was a lot of Sunday night venues, which are
Mm.
not anymore. I mean, there's not very many places where they have dances or concerts on Sundays. It's actually Friday and Saturday. But back in the day, it was every day.
That's amazing. Bobby Castellano was wondering, hey, I always wondered whatever happened to your drummer David Din. He was known as El Güero.
Who now?
David
You
Din.
went out.
Whatever happened to David Din El Güero, the drummer? Whatever happened to your drummer?
David Din, he passed away. Yeah, he
Oh,
passed away a while back.
no. A shout out from
Yeah.
DFW, the legendary Freddie Martinez. Wow. So they're saying hello, Freddie, from DFW, from Dallas Fort Worth. And he says, looking forward to seeing you in Las
Okay. Well, hello to them too.
Vegas. That, you know what? I was going through your history, and I found some interesting things that, first of all, you here, let me get my notes out so that way I can read them correctly. It says that you were born in Corpus. You're the youngest of three, but you were a drum major in high school, and it was the
I was a drum major.
yeah, and you're in the band, and you were the drum major at your high school. It was Winsell Academy of Fine Arts.
Well,
That
Winfield, yes, but
yeah, and
back then it was just a regular school, and
mhm,
so I was in the band there, and my last year at that school I was a drum major
yeah,
at Winfield.
that's incredible. You played the violin and the trumpet. So
I played mostly the trumpet. I'm a trumpet player from the beginning, and
mhm,
right now, I still play a little bit of trumpet, not too much because I'm more into the songwriting and producing. But I still, as a matter of fact, today I did a couple of trumpet parts on the song that we did.
well,
But I'm a original trumpet player.
yeah, I know that you're quite active, because the song that you did earlier this year with Gary Hobbs, it's still on regular rotation with me here at Qvo Radio. We still have it in high rotation because it's a really good
Yeah.
song. And
Borrón y cuenta nueva.
yeah, that's right. And so, I mean, but you've worked with, like you were talking about earlier, with Ramon Ayala and Agustin Ramirez and Oscar Martinez and Joe Bravo, and on and on and on. It goes on and on and on. I mean, it's just really incredible how you've done it. And I believe in 1994 was when you moved into your huge complex that's there, which is really impressive. And I was going through all of the accolades that you've received. The different kinds of awards that you received, and your Grammys and everything else. But you know what? How come you didn't get an Oscar, bro? You've been in movies.
Well, I've been in a movie with Tony Aguilar back in the 70s.
Hmm.
La Muerte de Pancho Villa. He asked me, and of course, Sonny was in that movie also.
Yeah.
But no, my thing is music. That's what I have done all my life. That's what I love, and I'll continue to do that until God calls me. But
When
they always said I'm getting ready to retire. No, I will never retire.
You're never gonna. When was the last time you saw that movie?
Probably a few years ago. I've got a copy of it at home, but I saw it a few years ago.
For those people that have never seen it, check it out. I have it right here. What's this? It's the opening sequence to the movie. La muerte de Pancho Villa. Now, when I got this copy, it was a really rough copy, so I had to update. I mean, I had to kind of work on the colors and everything else because, well, I mean, it was from the '70s. But what really got me was I was looking. You had top billing, Freddie. I mean, that's pretty impressive. You and Sonny Osuna, because here comes uh, watch. Here comes Sonny Osuna, and look, Freddie Martinez. But you also sang in the movie.
Yes.
What? I love your outfit too.
Ay, qué celosa se pone todas las flores cuando ven a mi amorcito. Pierden sus lindos olores cuando la vela quiero dormir en mi nidito. Quiere morirse de envidia porque no puede compararse con mi amor.
So that's you on the right side right there with that.
Yeah, that's me.
That's pretty awesome. And then you actually act in this thing. It's pretty awesome.
Rosal y una orquídea que se comparen
Uh,
años, después de andar con usted en las buenas y las malas. Si usted me lo permite, me quedaré con usted hasta que muera.
Viejado, así me gusta, viejado, así me gusta. Pues mire, en premio le voy a decir una cosa. Le tengo allá en Canutillo 150 hectáreas de tierra muy buena. Ya le pedí la novia y lo voy a casar dentro de 8 días para que se prepare. Y voy a ser padrino del primer muchacho también, ¿eh?
Sí, padre.
Bueno, compadre. Bueno, compadre, pues.
Look at that.
There's
Yeah.
there's a funny story. A funny story of when we were doing this the part of the movie. You know, Antonio and I had bought a big old basket of tortas, and
Mhm.
what I'm doing, we're singing at un bautismo. So he was eating a torta while I was doing the song, and then here comes a big old cloud, and then knocks off the lighting. So he stopped the film. He said, "Okay, let the cloud go by." So then he started on another torta, and again another cloud come by. So after about the third or fourth, he said, "I cannot eat any more torta." That's it. So that was a little funny part of on that film. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. We did that in Zacatecas,
Yeah,
and
that
then
was
we had
great.
we had we had grand openings in San Antonio and in Houston and here in Corpus Christi, where Sonny and I were there at the grand openings with Tony Aguilar, and I mean it was a huge thing for all of us because that's a lot of promotion back in the day for us, and of course everywhere we went we mentioned the fact that we were in that movie, and Tony Aguilar did well. He was a producer, so he did real well with that movie.
Yeah, it was great seeing it, and I just had to. I was gonna, you know, I have Sonny's clip as well. I wasn't able to get it fixed by the time I did I did Sonny's interview, but I really wanted to show you the interview, just to show you that yeah, I really did my research. That this is
That's
what it
that.
is. Just bring a little bit of old school back into to see if you remembered that part. Jenny says she visited Freddie Records. It was really nice and loved the Walk of Stars with all the recording stars names that were on there. It's one of the things that you really do that's really kind of cool is that you still remember all the people that have recorded there with Freddie Records, and you've had a lot of great success, which is really awesome for you to all the great people that have come through your doors and have worked with you. And that's awesome, but I think what people don't realize is how much how much you put into it. You help produce, you listen to everything, you're there, you're part of the whole entire thing, and that's pretty awesome. What have you know what projects are you like the most, what part of the project are you most concerned about, or where do you say, you know what, I have to be here for this every time, or is it just kind of random whenever you decide to go into the studio?
Well, I try to check out on all the material that is recorded. I'm not able to do all of it, but
Right.
a lot of the material that's recorded, I check it out before to make sure that the wording is there, and I really don't like any profound
Andy.
music here. It's got to be clean,
uh,
and so that's what I check, and I try to get as close as I can to the artist so that they know that they can feel at home.
mhm,
Uh, and I spent a lot of time with many of them, like with Jimmy Gonzalez, the Grupo Mas. I spent a lot of time in the studio with him, and the guy was a great producer. I mean, you give him a song, and he'd do good with it. And with Ramon Ayala, I bet I was with him throughout all his CDs that he did with us. And I mean, we spent hours, almost. There was one time we did the whole weekend in the studio because he had to go on tour. So we did 3 days, and the musicians would just fall on the floor and sleep for half an hour. But we finished what we were supposed to do, and still today, we still spend a lot of time in the recording studio. We have two large recording studios, and then we have a couple of small studios also. But the ones that we use all the time are the large ones, and that is my job in the studio.
yeah, and that's where you find yourself a lot. I know the boys, they take up a lot of the work for you, which is really awesome to have, for them to want to be part of the business, because not everybody's family, or they all want to be part of the business. uh, uh, I do radio, but my son doesn't want anything to do with radio.
Well, I gave my my sons. I told them, if there's something else that you want to do in life, I'm here to help you. I'll help you with whatever you want to do. But I was blessed that all three of them love this music business. They love what they do. Mark does the promotion everywhere, all over the United States and in Mexico. He knows just about everybody in the radio business, TV business. And then I've got my other son, John, the middle one. He does the all the publishing work. All the composers deal with him. And then I've got my oldest son who works with Freddie Jr. He works with Lucky Joe and with Elida and with Jay Perez and Gary Hobbs and those guys. So they all do different things. And all Mark does a couple of. He's got a couple of bands like the band that's here today, Laura Denise. He's the one that's in charge of that band, and I'm just here to help him the material. I recorded a song with her today, a song that I wrote for her. It's called Te Voy a Amar, and she did an English version of it also. It's called I Will Love You. And
Mhm.
as soon as we get it, we'll send it to you. You're gonna like it. She did a very fine job with it. and I did a second voice with her, so that's gonna work out good. But
Yeah,
that's one of Mark's groups.
she's one of my favorite new artists that are out there. She's very versatile, and I like the fact that she's willing to take risks and not stick to the norm. And that's wonderful. Here on our radio station, we like to play everybody's music. We don't you know we don't tell the people what they want to hear. We let them choose what they want to hear, because all good music needs to be heard. Everybody has to have the opportunity to listen to good music. I'm eclectic that way. Not a natural native speaker of Spanish. I listen to music. I hear the music first, then I hear the words afterwards, because I have to translate it in Spanish. I'm not a native speaker of Spanish, so I have to listen to it and kind of wait, what are they saying, and hopefully I get it right, because I've gotten it wrong before, especially doing my radio show. I was like, this is a love song. And my wife is like, that's not a love song. She said I'm four times. She's like, that's not a love song. I was like, okay. So, you have a good group of people, and you've got a great stable of artists that are in there, you know, but for you, I mean, what's it like to look back, 55 years of Freddie Records, and you've had so much success? You've been blessed to have all the success this
Yes,
whole.
I have. I've been very blessed that had so many artists here come through here, and a lot of them stayed here with us for years. And I was able to. At the beginning, when the company first started, I was still on the road, but I had some good people here working with me and dealing with the artists and with while I was on the road. And then when I came back home, I came in directly into the studio to check out what they were doing. But can you imagine, in 55 years, we've had hundreds of artists come through here, and just about all the big ones have been here. Uh, the legends have been with us here for a long time, and every time I started the legends in 1998. That's when I got together with the guys, and then of course we lost Joe Bravo and we
Yeah.
lost Carlos Miranda, but all of these guys we worked together just all over the United States, and we went to Mexico, and on that first tour that we did, remember we were playing we were going to play in Lubbock, and it was a big hall, and on the way to the hall we passed by another hall, another big place where Jose Feliciano was performing. So we were passing by there, and we saw the cars. I mean, cars all over the place. So I said, you know what? This guy's gonna is gonna take our crowd. So we're not gonna have a big crowd. So when we got to our place, they had already shut down the doors because couldn't get any more people in there.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
a lot of the cars that were a couple of blocks away were at our dance. So we had a very successful tour, and then on the second tour, again it was very successful, and we got a Grammy with our second album, with the Legends. So and then of course everybody started working with their own bands, and I started staying more at the studio. But once in a while we go here and there, like we're going to do it in July in Las Vegas. But we usually do a lot of we do a lot in San Antonio, in Houston and Dallas, and we've done some in the Valley too. So yeah, we're staying pretty busy. And tomorrow, as I talk to Sonia and Carlos, we're going to discuss another project that we're thinking of for here for this year.
What retirement? What retire? You
No,
just
no, that's not in my mind at all.
that's a bad word.
Yeah.
No, that's pretty awesome. And that was one of the questions that Bobby was asking. What made you so successful? With all these other all these other record companies that have closed. It's hard to keep that line of success, but you've managed to do it. And you
You know,
know,
when I first started, I'm talking about 50 years ago. Whenever there were probably 20 companies, Texas companies that existed back then, and now I guess I don't know of any other company that's doing it other than us. But we're still at it, and working hard with with the people that work. We have three engineers, recording engineers here full time with the company, and all three of them are great. Right in front of me, we've got Mariano Herrera, who does a lot of the recording, and this guy plays all the instruments. He plays the guitar, the bajoseto, the drums, accordion, keyboards. So he does a lot of the producing also here, and so we have some good people working with us. I'm not doing it all by myself. I got some good help.
Yeah, I was reading a an article that came out, I believe, in Billboard magazine that talked about how some of your the people that were working for you there at the studio were also recording artists. You know that they were singers, musicians and everything else, but they were also working there at Freddie Records, as a secretary, or they were you know different things, doing different things there at the studio, but they were also recording artists as well. That really, to take advantage. In the article, the way I read the article, it was a novel idea because they didn't understand, or not they didn't understand, but it was a novel idea for them because of the fact that you were taking advantage of the talents that they had and giving them work so that way they could still concentrate on their music.
Well,
But
you have to take advantage of the talent that these guys have. There is a lot of talent all around here.
yeah,
All I have to do is just bring in a certain song, and we can record it that same day because we got musicians here that play every instrument that there is. So we can record just about anything, whether it's Tejano or Norteño, whatever. We can record it here. We got a lot of talent, and I've always had that. Always
yeah,
since the beginning, I've always had very good talent. I can go back and when the first groups that recorded for us, talking about, like I said, Tony La Rosa, Los Chachos, and Steve Jordan, and there's a million stories that I could tell you about the different guys. Like
yeah.
Steve Jordan loved the studio. He loved to record. And then one day he said, Freddie, leave me here with your band and go out and do whatever you want to do for 2, 3 hours. When you get back, I'm going to have your band already with a full arrangement and everything. And he was an accordion player. But when I left and I came back 3 hours later, he had done a terrific arrangement with the horns, saxophones and trumpets. So that was just Steve. Tony La Rosa, he recorded a full album one time, complete album, and we
Wow.
went to the studio to listen to it. He listened to it 2, 3 times. He said, "You know what? I don't like it. Erase the whole thing. I'm gonna start over."
Oh no.
So you got all kinds of stories like that. That's why the company is successful because we've had some good guys with us all during the years.
Yeah, and that's great. Don Freddie is always the gonna have the last say in the kind of music that comes out of Freddie Records. Mark Fabula says that. That's true. You have a good command of what it is that you listen to. What was for you? I mean, because I know, just reading up on your bio, just where you began. You were the youngest of three children, and starting in school and everything else. But when when you started recording, and Botoncito came out, and it was really the one thing that started everything going the way it did. What did your parents say when they heard the music, when they saw the success that you were having? What did they say to you?
Well, my father was always very supportive of me. You know, he always used to tell me just whatever you need, do it, and I'm here. When I used to go on the road, he would be at the studio. He was not a musician. He didn't play any instrument, but he was there. He was always there at the studio, just watching out for the business. Taking care of the business, and he would always support me. A little story that I have: when I was 15 years old, most of my musicians were way older than I was. They were older, and uh, and so I would go I play out of town, like not far, but like 40, 50 miles from here, and with a band. And so I thought I was by myself. One day we had a little problem, and when we came back home. My dad, we went to a restaurant to eat, and a couple of my musicians were going at it, And so my dad walked in the door and says, "What's going on, mijo?" I said, "Well, these guys are fighting." I said, "Yeah, son. They've been fighting since you left Alice. We had played Alice." So that's when I found out that my dad would go and park 2 blocks away from where we were playing. He would follow us back home, and I thought I was by myself, but
Oh,
he was always with me, just a couple of blocks watching out for us. So that was my father. He always supported me in everything that I did. And my mother, of course, she came from a musical family. The Galvan brothers from here, of course, they're great professors in music and everything. So she knew music. So, she knew how hard I tried, and I tried college. I went to college for about a year and a half, only to please my mom and dad because they wanted me to become a band director. But that was not me. I wanted to continue with my band, and I went to college for a couple, there's a semester here, a semester there, and I said, no, this is not for me. I gotta keep on going. And then I got married real young. I was 21 years old when I got married. My wife was 20, and so she knew that I was going to be in this music business forever, and so she also supported me. At the beginning, we lived in a very small apartment, and but she struggled with me a little bit there, and then uh, a few years after we got married, that's when Botoncito came out, and then
mm,
after that, we were on Easy Road. It was good.
yeah, that's pretty awesome. Yeah, Danny Nyola says, "Saludos a la leyenda Don Freddie Martinez and Freddie Records." Thank you, Indio and Neil de Lamas, Annie and Danny Nyola from Corpus Christi saying hello.
Yeah, hello, Danny. Yeah, I know Danny very well. Yeah.
So, and that's cool that they're chiming in. But that's one of the things that I've always found interesting. As far as it was different back in the day. Back in the '60s and '70s when people were starting out. I love those stories of you know. Without knowing our history, without knowing history of music, you can't really move forward. I mean, for us, for Native American people, we believe you have to know your roots. Trees don't grow without roots. You have to know your roots. You have to know where you're from in order to be strong. You have to know more about your roots than you can be growing up high.
A lot of
So
what a lot of what we speaking of right now, talking about right now, uh, but much, much, much more than that. I'm about to finish my life story book.
mhm,
It tells all kinds of stories of the struggles, the good times, and everything that's going on my career, when my beginnings, and when I was in school, and I always wanted to play sports, but my mom and my grandfather, they said, no, you're going to be in music. And so I stuck with that, and all of that is in the book that I'm writing. I should finish it pretty soon. And
yeah,
I've got friends that wrote a few articles on what they thought of my my career. I've got one friend that before I ever made it, he used to play with Sonny and the Sunliners, and I used to be the opening band for him. So he told me after I made my hits, he said, Freddie, when you used to play with it, you opened up for us. But I saw something there, and I used to tell everybody, watch out for this guy because one of these days he's going to get to where he wants to. And so there was people that had faith in what I was doing, and that liked what I was doing, that liked me, and helped me out throughout the. Because you cannot get anywhere. First of all, you can't get anywhere without God. I mean, He's the first one, and then you need people to help you, friends. Because you can't do it on your own. You need friends to advise you, just to encourage you. And that's what I've had a lot. I've had a lot of friends and people, family, to encourage me and support me. And so I don't claim to have done everything that I've done on my own. I've worked very hard, and thank God we're still here. We're still at it, pretty strong.
Well, it's showing because there's a lot of groups that are joining you, wanting to join you. And it's great because you do have a great you have a great acumen of knowing where to find good music and good musicians and good, just good songs. All of the songs that you've come out with so far have been, been really really good.
The one that we're playing a lot here not too long ago, that I don't know if you have it or not. That Jay Petty did, Vino Maldito.
Mhm.
I wrote that one for him, and he did real well with it. And
Yeah.
of course, my big song, not that I recorded it, but it's Tragos Amargos,
Hmm.
Ramon Ayala.
Yeah.
I wrote that one, and Ramon claims that that is his national anthem. Because everywhere he goes, he plays it, and they play it at the Spurs games, and they played it at the Super Bowl here a few years ago. So that
Mhm.
that that was a big song.
Yeah, that is a big song. But I mean, even with the recent songs, I was telling Mark not too long ago, with Ellie does this before she released this one, that Sierra Esa Boquita. I was like, that just blew up when I put it on. It was just amazing how many people were just like, "Hey, who sings that song?" And I see it from the digital aspect. I see we cover 134 countries, and I just see them all just there when because we have a like button, and also you can also buy the song, through the app and stuff like that. And it's just crazy how that song just really took off, and it was just here recently, and this new one's doing just as
Well,
good.
Ellie's a great singer. I mean, she's
Yeah.
got a voice that I've worked with in the studio. She is tremendous. She is great. And I we just signed up this Laura, Denise, and we're expecting some good things from her too, because
Oh, she's a
she's
great entertainer.
a
She's
great entertainer. She's young, and she wants to do it. So
yeah.
we're expecting some good things from her. Also, we're expecting some good things from a young kid that we just signed up. Uh, uh, that's working right now. He's working with Jesse Turner and Signal.
Hmm.
Nathan
Yeah.
Nathan Acosta.
Yeah. He's another good.
He's working in the studios. I think he's supposed to come in next week.
Mhm.
But that kid is going to be. You're going to hear a lot from him here pretty
Yeah.
soon.
We've interviewed him, and he's got a lot of talent for such a young kid, man.
Yes, he does.
He's got a lot of talent, and what a good looking kid too. He's a good looking guy.
Yeah, he's got a lot of talent, and of course, he's got Jesse backing him up, and of course, as a company. And I don't know if you ever met Richard, who plays with Jesse, bajo sexto player. Richard Rosales. He worked with us for many years. A great musician also, and he's my compadre. And so between them and us, we think that Nathan is going to really do some good.
That's a good team to have. Roberto Villarreal says saludos, Freddie, desde Laredo, Texas.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Bobby
Saludos
says
también.
Bobby says you're such a humble man. Janie's asking, what advice do you have for a young talent? She's sitting here watching us, and what she's talking about is Allie, her granddaughter Allie. She's just recorded a couple of songs with Shelly Lattis, and she's actually going to be performing at the Fan Expo there in Vegas.
Hmm.
And she's 12 years old, I think 12 or 14. She's a young kid, but she's got a voice, man. She's got a lot of talent. They're asking, what advice do you have for a young artist that they're starting out? What advice would you give them?
Well, if you record something and it doesn't click, do not give up, because that's what I can tell you. For me, it took me 12 years to get a hit song. So if you really love what you're doing, it is not easy by any means. The music business is not easy. But if you love it and if you think you've got what it takes, keep it up. If the first thing you do don't work, do it a second time, do it a third time, and sooner or later you'll get your break and it'll work. So my advice to those youngsters is just keep on doing it. Do not give up. This is a business that's difficult, but when you get something that you create something from the beginning and make it click, make it work, it's a big satisfaction. And you cannot imagine the feeling you get when you do something. say you write a song and then somebody else records it and it becomes a hit, but it's still part of you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So a lot of the youngsters that I've talked to, I've spoke to a couple of. They called me from a couple of high schools to go and speak about the business, and I always tell them the same thing. You can't give up if things don't work out immediately because it doesn't work like that.
Yeah. I know. I always tell people or speak to the audiences because we're streaming live streaming right now on 7 different platforms, social media platforms. We're also on Roku TV, which you see in behind us, and then also on my radio station all at the same time. But I always say the same thing, you know, send in your music, but it has to have an ISRC code and it has to be recorded in industry standards. Do you lease out your studios for people to come in and record?
Oh yes, we get quite a few people calling in to use our studios, and they not because it's our studios, but I think we have a great sound here. We produce some great sounds, and there's a lot of you'd be surprised. There's people that call in from other states. They
Mhm.
come in because they see the sound that we get with a different band or conjunto, and so they want to come and try to see if they can get the same sound. Now, of course, you got to have some talent to get the good to get what you want. But we do have a lot of people that come from out to record here. Sometimes it's even hard for me to get into the studio because both studios are tied up with uh, with custom work. But
Mhm.
yes, we do get a lot of work from the outside.
Yeah, and it's just so that way people understand that it's not, you know you don't have to be signed to Freddie in order to record there. You can rent out some space so that way you can record it and take advantage of the equipment that they have. That you can. We have this misnomer that you can record it at your home, but I've gotten some songs that where people have recorded at home and it's too much. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. If that makes
Yep.
any sense, you know.
Well, a studio like the studio here that we have now, both of them, the big ones and also the small ones. We have a company that designed our studios, that designed the NFL studios where they do the NFL shows. Designed a studio for a while back for Whitney Houston. So I mean, those guys do the works. Here
Mhm.
here in our studio, they had built it the way we wanted it, but like where I'm sitting right now, they had given us an extra foot, a little bit more comfortable, which is still we got a lot of space. The contractor was the one that did an extra foot, but when the guy that designed the studio came by and checked, he said, "No," he said, "this foot here is not meant to be. We designed everything with the sound in mind. So you got to put this. You take care of this foot here, and in the walls, in the floors, there's a foot of nothing but hard rubber in the floors, so that the sound won't escape. So that's what I'm talking about. See, you can record it at the house, and yeah, it sounds pretty good, but here in the studio, I mean, yeah, this was designed for the sound. And that's why a lot of people come record here because we have some very the people come in whenever we call it tweak when we tweak the studios. We got people that decided to come in and check that everything is in place, and so we can still get the same sound. And that's why we get the sound that we get.
Yeah, most definitely, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that everybody needs to go to the studio. Don't get me wrong. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that there's a difference. There is a difference, and you have to understand that you know music quality, the sound of your music also has to matter. And one of the things that I've often harped on with older music was that back in the day, music breathed. It wasn't like all this noise coming at you all at one time. It was like there was a rhythm, a beat, and there was some quietness that was inside there. It wasn't all just just intense, and I appreciate all music. Don't get me wrong. I'm not I'm not harboring in any way some of the new technologies or some of the new, styles of music. It's just that, sometimes there's a right way and there's a wrong way. And you can tell how, if, if you're exasperated with a song, if the song makes you tired because there's so much coming at you, there's a reason why. Because it's just, there's nothing, you can't breathe because it's just nothing but noise coming at you. It's because generally they tweak it out to the limits, to the outer limits, and
Yeah, well, and we've been here so long that I'm not saying that we can pick all hits, but we have an idea as to what the people are gonna want. And when we record here, we don't record for us. We record for the people, thinking of what the people are gonna like. If let's say there's 10 of us in here in the studio, and if a couple of guys go out of the studio singing the song that you just recorded, well, that means something. If you go to a dance and the people leave the place singing what you just performed, well, you got something going. If they can't remember what you did, well, that's no good.
yeah,
They have to
that's true.
they have to remember and go out the place singing what you're doing. So you look at all those things when you're in this type of business. You look at all those things, what the people want, and when you find what the people want, you give it to them.
Yeah,
You don't hold back. You give the people what they want, and that's what we've been trying to do here for 55 years.
definitely. Camino Perez, promoter, digital promoter for a lot of people. He's saying hello. How are you doing, brother? Thank you very much for joining us. Jenny says thank you very much for your beautiful words and great advice. She really does appreciate it. Hey, well, let's go ahead and take a listen to Botencito de Cariño. That's one of your great songs, the official song release that you did it there in Freddie Records not too long ago. We'll take a listen to it. We'll be right back. That is the one and only Don Freddie Martinez. I am NDO right here on Qvo Radio. This is Botoncito de Cariño right here on Qvo Radio.
Te traigo estas flores que corté por la mañana en pruebas de amor de este corazón que te ama. Con ellas te mando amor y ternura y que Dios te guarde, hermosa criatura, eres toda mi ilusión. Te traigo estas flores porque no encontré palabras de amor que no sé cómo explicarlas, y cuando te acercas me lleno de miedo, me da mucha pena. ¿Será que no puedo decir lo que siento yo? Son un humilde tributo a tu belleza encantadora, son pa' que adornes tu frente y tu sonrisa soñadora. Recibe con ellas de mi alma un suspiro y ya me retiro pa' seguir soñando que es mío tu corazón. ¡Ay! Te traigo estas flores porque no encontré palabras de amor que no sé cómo explicarlas, y cuando te acercas me lleno de miedo, me da mucha pena. ¿Será que no puedo decir lo que siento yo? Son un humilde tributo a tu belleza encantadora, son pa' que adornes tu frente y tu sonrisa soñadora. Recibe con ellas de mi alma un suspiro y ya me retiro pa' seguir soñando que es mío tu corazón.
I know it wasn't the right song. I was like, I put up there. I know that's not Botoncito. Sorry, I hit the wrong button because they're labeled different, and so that was. But people said it's still one of my favorites. So Elsa Ortiz that's one of my favorites. Bobby says still a great song, and Alfredo's like still an awesome song. Jenny's like that's still my favorite. Yay! And so as long as they like it, that's all that really matters. But Te traigo esas flores. That's a great song, obviously, of course. One of your favorite. I mean, one of the one that took you to a whole new level, which is obviously a song that's well deserved and well written. Some of the where did you get the idea for this song? Where was the song? It's fairly
Well,
simple idea. It's a
well, this song, I did not write the song. I wrote the music to it. The lyrics was written by Joe Mejia. He used to be my bass player in the second voice, and unfortunately, he passed away a couple of years ago. But he's the one that did the lyrics and all that.
hmm that's a beautiful song, and but even still, it's sometimes you just that's why they call them classics because they keep living. And that's one of the things that I always say. How how do you know the stars from the flashes in the pan is how long they last, how long they've been in the business, and you've been in the business like you said for over 60 years, and it's pretty awesome. So with this show that you have coming on with the Vegas show that you have coming on with the legends, um, what can we expect uh, from that? You mentioned the tour that you had not too long ago. What do you? Because La 45 is a wonderful band by themselves. Those guys are awesome, and they're all so young, and they love the big band sound, which is awesome. But what can we expect at the Las Vegas show for those of us that are going to be going to Vegas to enjoy this show?
Well, we've prepared well for it with La 45, and then we think we have the right songs that we're going to be performing. Goes well. Uh, I'm not saying that we're going to go on the road every week, but we may we may do the some of the spots like I said here in Texas. We'll probably do the Valley. We'll probably do like when we first started with the Legends. We're just going to do here in Corpus Christi, which is where I live. We were going to do San Antonio for Sunday, and then in the Valley for Carzon. Houston, San Antonio, the Valley, Laredo, and then if the favorite spots that that we used to do in California was up north, like the Fresno area and Bakersfield. I did, when I was doing every week, I did the $1 Million Theater in Los Angeles. I did that like 3 times. I did the Hollywood Palladium in Hollywood. And usually it was myself and a group out of Mexico. We played a lot with those babies, the Mexico and the Freddies and los Terriculas and people like that. And then of course I took what we call a caravana to California. It was myself and Sonny and uh, uh, just a bunch of bands that we took here, Los Chachos, and so we did a couple of tours like that in California also.
That's awesome. Well, I know we talked to Pio Trevino last week, and he says that he's got some music that's coming out that just came out. And obviously you have the J single that just came out, but you've got a whole bunch of other stuff. But if you want to get some more music or more merch from Freddie Records or anything else, you don't have a chance to go down in Corpus Christi where they're at. You can go to their website, and there it is right there, the Freddie Records website. You go ahead and click on the QR code. It's going to take you straight to Freddie Records, and you can get the catalog that's there, and you'll be able to get more information about all the stuff that they have going on their catalog. And if you subscribe to their to their newsletter, you get a 10% off of your first purchase there. And I highly recommend that new album, El Patron, from Jay Perez, and then also Trevino and E Magic, and then also Gary Hobbs' new album. That's a great one. So just go out and get it, and that's how you support your Tejano music. You got to go to their shows, go to their shows, and buy their merch. And this is one of the ways. It's a great. It's a. You can get the having the CD is awesome because it's actually tangible. It's something you can hold in your hand. You
And
know.
we're also going to have a lot of merchandise for our 55th anniversary. Like caps and shirts and all kinds of stuff. So you can also order some of the anniversary, merchandising.
Yeah, get it there so that way they can get it signed. How about that? Mira
Yeah, that'd
nomás.
be good.
That would be great. They're going to be there, so you can get it signed there and everything else. Mark says send the jet, and so I can pull up into with the 45 headquarters tomorrow. Sending the Alfred Rio says, I remember all those groups we would open up for them for the Freddies when they were the very first group back in the day in California when we called they were he was with a group called Los Jóvenes. They would open up
Yeah,
for Freddy's
that's
Los
right.
Jóvenes.
Los Jóvenes.
Yeah, so
I remember them with Carlos.
yeah, that's where he was with. And did Freddie write Tonterías? Did you write
Tonteria. Yes, yes, I did.
Wow,
Uh,
man, you wrote everything. He
I
wrote
was
the birthday song. Okay, no, just kidding.
I was checking out some last night, some of the old stuff that we've done. Checking
Uh-huh.
out on Carlos Guzman. He's done more songs than I thought. He's done a lot of good songs for us. One
Yeah.
of his favorites is the one that I wrote for him is called "No te vas a arrepentir."
Hmm.
He recorded that. Now, when we talk about, I've also done a lot of gospel albums. I
Uh-huh.
myself have done like pretty close to 20 gospel albums. But one song that I wrote, especially for Carlos, and he does it at he sometimes he finishes a performance with that one song, and it's called "En las alas de una paloma." It's a gospel song that Carlos did a very fine job with it. So I recommend that song. It's called "En las alas de una paloma."
En las alas de una paloma. Let me write that down. Um, so for those people that are wondering, can you submit music to you to be considered, for because I don't know what your signing process is, to get signed to Freddie Records or anything else, or if you're even looking for artists, or how do you do that when you pick up artists?
Well, usually most of the artists that are here with us, they've called it looking for a record company, and or sometimes we see an artist that's out there that is not signed. We never go after an artist that's signed with somebody else. We wait till his contract is over, and then
Hmm.
we'll ask him to come with us. So that's how we do it. But right now, as we speak, we're looking for from young talent. Some, like Nathan and uh, just young people that we still need a couple of more young guys and a couple of young gals that want to really work. But
Yes.
when we talked to them the very first time, I explained to them that it's got to be 100% on both sides. The company gives 100% and the artist gives 100%. And if that's what we do, we stand a good chance of doing some good. So if there's an artist out there, whether it's a guy or a gal that's looking for a recording company, they can get a hold of usually Mark, who does a lot of that, or my son Freddie Jr. My second son doesn't mess too much with the musicians. He's in with now, if you're a composer, that's where he comes in. John
Uh-huh.
comes in with the composers. But yes, we are looking for new talent, and they're certainly welcome to call us.
Yeah, that's the one of the things that I've always said for new artists is if you're a singer, work on your craft, whatever it is. If you play guitar, then practice guitar. If you play the piano, practice your piano. If you're a vocalist, practice on your voice. Just whatever it is that you do, practice that to become better at it, because talent alone isn't enough. You also have to have the drive, because the person with mediocre talent and all the drive in the world is always going to beat the person with all the talent and no drive, because
Right.
you have to have the whole both sides of it. It's not going to be given to you. You have to work on it, both of it. So, and you're right, 100%. Like you said, it has to be both ways.
Both sides, yes.
Javier Solano says saludos. Saludos, Javier. How are you doing? And Alfredo says, Ali, Grupo Road from Conroe, Texas. Both their ages from 12 to 14 years old. The whole band, by the way, is aged 12 to 14 years old.
Wow.
They're going to be there in Vegas, so you'll get to listen to them in Vegas.
Okay, sure.
To them, and you know, Anley, she's got a voice, man. She's got a really strong, clean. You know, for her age, you don't hear a 12-year-old, 13-year-old. You don't hear that. You're a very mature, uh, 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 with a great timbre. She's got a great timbre to her voice. It's kind of raspy, but I don't know how to explain it, but she's got a great voice. That's one of the girls that I was very impressed. I got to hear her, you know, cheating, because when she recorded her first song, they were like, "Hey, check this out," and I was like, "Oh my gosh, who's this?" So it's pretty cool. But yeah, that's one of the awesome things. So aside from Las Vegas that you have coming up, what else did you want the people to know? And I'm gonna go ahead and just turn it over to you, Freddie, so that way you can go ahead and let people know what to expect. What do you want them to know? And give out your shout outs and your thank yous and everything else. I'm going to go ahead and bring up your QR code so that way people know to go here to Freddie Records, so that way they can buy music and everything else. But it's just going to be you, brother, so that way you can go ahead and let them know as far as what it is that you want to the community to know, and make sure that you let them know about your upcoming events that you have coming on.
Okay, well, first of all, I want to remind them once again that we will be performing in Las Vegas on the 13th of July. It's Saturday night, and we're going to be performing with La 45. It should be a great show. We have prepared for it very well, and we're still preparing. So that's the first thing that's coming up in a couple of weeks in Las Vegas. We're also going to have a meet and greet. I don't know how they're going to figure who's in or who's not, but we're going to do that also there in Las Vegas. And after that, we're already preparing some recordings with the legends, and we're talking to a couple of promoters that are interested in doing like a mini tour. Nothing, very, just something small, a mini tour, doing it here, Texas, and maybe a couple in California. So those are the plans. We're already selecting the material that we're going to record, and we're looking forward, like always, to saying hello to all the people that we've seen and met throughout the years. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that we've known, that I know that are going to be in Las Vegas, because when we had our 50th, there was a lot of people there from all over. So we're looking forward to seeing you all again. Be sure and come and say hello in person. We will be there. Actually, during the day, we're going to be where all the groups are going to be playing and signing autographs and our new material that we'll have. So it should be a great performance. Should be a great show. And then David Chavez and Sarah have prepared this very well. They're also celebrating 20 years of this Las Vegas uh, thing that show that perform and that they put together every year. So this is their 20th anniversary and our 55th. So we're putting both things together, and it's going to be just a great show. So we want to see everybody there, and then if we're in your area for the rest of the year, we're planning to do the El Paso. They're calling us from El Paso, so if we're in your area, hope you can come by and see us and say hello again.
All right. Thank you so very much for that. And I really do appreciate each and every one of y'all that have been joining us today. You know, here with Don Freddie, and I really do appreciate you, Freddie, for helping us out, man. I really do. I hope that you had a good time today with us here, and please come back anytime that you have any information or anything else that you want to share with us and share with the world. You know, this is your house. Whatever you want.
Thank you.
And
Thank you, DJ NDO. I know that your show has a lot of audience, and it's I thank you for inviting me to be on your show, and I certainly will do call you when we have something new. I'd like to come to your show again, and I'll ask Sonny and Carlos to do the same to let you all know what's going on. And again, thank you very much for having us, and we'll see you in Las Vegas.
we'll see you most definitely in Las Vegas. I'll be there with bells on and bringing the camera so that we can capture all of it and make sure that people get to see. For those of y'all that won't be able to get there, but if you do get a chance to see the legends in person, go out there, go to their shows, go and buy their merch, go and support them. That's how you keep it going. It's the only way that you can do that. You have to go out there and support your artists, all of them. If you are a new artist, if you are a new band and you want your music to be heard, send it to me, admin@qvoradio.net. We are a fully accredited radio station with ASCAP, BMI, CSEC, SOCOR, and all other licensings that are required in Canada, the United States, in England, and 13 other countries. We cover 134 countries in total because of the military. I am a veteran. Thank you so very much for each and every one of you that are there. You have to have two things in order for the music to be accepted. Number one, it has to be recorded in industry standards. Number two, it has to have an ISRC code that is for you, not for me, so that you can get your royalties. After that, thank you so very much, Don Freddie, for being here, man. I really do appreciate you, brother. Thank you so very much. And Freddie Records, like I said, there is the website. Go to Freddie Records and get the merch. I highly suggest getting the new one from Qvo Tejano, getting the new one from Jay Pettis, and the new one from Gary Hobbs. Those are hot. Also, the new single from Elida, doing wonderful. Go out there and get that one. With that being said, to each and every one of you, thank you so very much for being here. But if today was not your day, if you had a bad day today, just remember, every day planes take off against the wind. Be good to each other. You matter. We love you. Y'all have a good night. Hasta luego. We're going to leave you with the right song called Botoncito de Cariño.
Thank you very much for having me, and God bless you.
Thank you, brother. Hasta luego. Botoncito de Cariño. It's supposed to be the right song. Whoa, I'll hold my fingers crossed. Hasta luego. Thank you so very much. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Botoncito de cariño, dulce reina de las flores, he venido a despertarte con la miel de mis amores. Botoncito de cariño, tú que alumbras mi existencia, te lo juro, vida mía, hace falta tu presencia. Yo sé bien que tú has sufrido, pero échalo al olvido. Ya llegó tu jardinero y ha de ser tu amor sincero. Botoncito de cariño, deja ya de andar penando, arrejúntate a mi lado y olvidemos el pasado. Botoncito de cariño, tú que alumbras mi existencia, te lo juro, vida mía, que hace falta tu presencia. Y yo Yo sé bien que tú has sufrido, pero échalo al olvido. Y ya llegó tu jardinero y ha de ser tu amor sincero.